welcome back to another Kaiju Geekdom figure review. Today I am going to be reviewing a figure that I personally put together. So this is a custom, there is no bots, but I will give you a picture of what this figure looked like, and then you'll see the figure now. So hopefully you guys like this Kaiju I put together, and it's one of my favorite Kaijus in my collection as because I made this. This is something I put together, found the pieces for, and just went at it. And I think it turned out very well. So I hope you guys feel the same way. So stay tuned and find out what the figure is. Alright, so here he is. This is the figure that I personally built, basically. I used a single body mold and actually found some parts that I want. And if you guys couldn't tell already, this is my representation of Cthulhu. And the reason why I wanted a Cthulhu figure is because I could not find one in this scale. I wanted a large monster figure of Cthulhu, and I couldn't find one that fit my collection too good. And there's the Lovecraft series ones that are like the 12 or 6-inch to 12-inch tall ones. This guy stands in at a whopping 16 inches if stood straight up. He is a little hunched over, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So let's go into the figure and his details and how I put this together. First of all, if you didn't catch it in the beginning of the intro, this guy's body mold is from a Malebolgia figure. I think it was 1997 Malebolgia figure. Wow, guys, that is a long time ago. So yeah, he is from the 1997 Spawn collection, and that's just his body. So a lot of him is from the Malebolgia. Now, when you buy this Malebolgia figure, you might want to hurry up and take the batteries out. Lucky, mine weren't too bad, and the batteries still worked. But I did replace the batteries, and we'll get to his functions in a little while here in the review. But so for his main body as a Malebolgia figure, you have no really articulation because of how old the figure is. Being so old, a lot of the joints locked up, and I don't want to really toy with them because I don't want to break this figure. It's more of a kind of a statue for me, but he does have some rotation that does work. Like his arm does go up. It's supposed to have a joint here, but I don't want to mess with it. And his arm is supposed to swivel, but like I said, the joints in this are not that strong. And moving them too much or anything will cause too much pressure on the joint, and they will break. It's not a if they will break. They will break. What they use is this really cheap plastic little peg system for each joint, and they crack. You can, and when I first bought the Malebolgia figure, and you know I gotta mess with it a little. Everybody does this, and so I was messing with it, and I started hearing cracking when I try to move the joint. So that's how I found out. Not only that is the online reviews of this figure, the Malebolgia figure, is not very great. So with that being said, it was perfect to dismantle and make my Kaiju out of. So this arm goes up and down. Also this arm. He does bend at the knees. His legs do move. So he does get the bend. His feet do bend somewhat. I don't want to really tempt it too much. And this is literally the only position I could get him to actually stand straight up. And because of all the added accessories I put on it. Now, some of the accessories, as you can see, removed the head. I added some wings. So, and basically, I did a top-down paint job of this figure. Yes, I painted the whole figure in some gloss acrylic with an overcoat to give it, and I dry brushed some black onto it. So when we come back, we will see the figure up close, and we'll talk a little more about that. So stay tuned. All right, so like I was saying, I did a whole bunch of dry brushing, as you can see. I did go a little overboard with this figure, as because this was a figure I've done way back. I made this figure way back in, I think it was 2012, maybe 11, is when I picked this figure up and did it. And as you can see, I did paint each spike black. I did give him a nice brush of darker overcoat of black, which I think I just went a little tad overboard, but it still looks decent, and you can see defined little crevices and details in it with that overcoat of black. He does have red painted eyes. It looks pretty cool. Now, this is a static piece. This does not move. It's stationary, does not swivel, does not move. It's really kind of... It has some give, and that's okay, because I want a little give, but if this were to fall, I think these tentacles here would break. I am 100% positive these would break, and I would be sad, because I don't think that you could get this kit anymore for the Cthulhu head. Now, and his arms here, I did paint each fingernail black, including his toenails down here, which are black too. I painted all the way through this figure brown. Now, and I did give the wings a little dry brushing of black too. And the reason I painted this brown, he comes brown, but he comes this like really kind of, I just want to call it poop brown. So I got some nice chocolate colored brown, and I just went over them with it. I scuffed them up a little and just kind of went over it, the whole figure, to make him one solid color so he doesn't have like any lack of detail. I did not color paint these insides. I left those alone, but I did paint the black spikes here, and I painted his where the wing or his fin would protrude from. And I thought that was pretty cool that this figure had those, because it gives him that amphibious look, like Cthulhu is a water monster. He comes out of the water, and that's how I picture him. Not only that, is the Malebolgia figure fit, as if I lift this up, and that, wow, his wing kind of blocks it from this side. Let's go turn him around this side. He does have the gut. And Cthulhu, in a lot of pictures I see, he's fat, okay? So, I like this figure because he did have the gut and all that, and it just represented Cthulhu to me. So, yeah. Now, onto his head, his wings. Attaching these, I used a lot of different techniques until I found one that worked. I trimmed up the plastic around his head because it was a cap. Now, I got this from off eBay, actually, I believe it was. And I'm talking about just the head and wings. As a Cthulhu parts set, it was a kit, a model kit that didn't have all the parts, but it had everything for its head, and it had its wings. And it did come with this funky looking tail, which my Cthulhu, I did not want a tail. I thought that'd be too much weight off the back and he would fall, and a lot of times I don't see Cthulhu with a tail. So I didn't opt to put that on, and I didn't care for the tail anyways. So I picked this up, and I think it was like $5. It was the last one. It's the only thing I saw on eBay for Cthulhu, or any kind of Cthulhu figure. And I was like, that may work. What are the dimensions? I got in contact with the seller. He went through it. He's like, well, the head's about 2-3 inches with the appendages and stuff like that, because these are all separate pieces from the actual main head. He said with it, it'll probably be about 8 inches. And I'm like, okay, so I'm measuring out Malebolgia over here. getting him ready for this. I shipped it. His wings are decently sized, and they come in different kind of forms, as you can see. And not only that is, I attached them using some epoxy, and then I painted over the epoxy, and that's why they're kind of stationary. They don't have any movement to the head or this. The head I could have made it have a rotation or swivel at the head. I just opted out because, I mean, I'm not going to really pose this guy. He can't really pose too much, and he's always going to be looking forward because of the lack of joints. When you can see now it's making me a liar because his legs are all wobbly. But I didn't want him to just fall and crack and break and stuff, and then I have to fix it. So, with the lack of joints, I've just opted out for just making him stationary in his head. He doesn't move. I attached everything with this, I think it was 3-part epoxy that I used, and it works very well. So it held on there. It's still going strong since 2011 or 12 when I did this, and all the way now it's 2017. So he does have one gimmick. So when we come back, I will show you that gimmick. All right, so now on to his only gimmick. He does take some, he takes 3, the Malebolgia figure takes 3 R44 type batteries, or watch batteries. I could not find these batteries, so I opted out to get Energizer batteries, and it said fits all sizes, from R44 to so many different, because they don't make R44s. And so basically just find 1.5 volt little watch batteries, 3 of them, and it will work. And Malebolgia had a cool function. On the back here, you can see a whole row of these dorsal spines or spikes protruding out of his back, out of his vertebrae. Well, this one right here is actually a concealed button, which is very cool. And when you push it, he does make a noise. And I liked it. I thought it fit, and I thought it was clever because it fits with the theme of Cthulhu. So I left it, and I wanted it to make noise, and this is what it does. It laughs in this kind of weird, deep voice. He laughs, he goes, ha 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 ha. And you know what? It kind of fits for me with Cthulhu. I don't know if Cthulhu makes noise or anything like that, but this Cthulhu does. And I just like it. And I could sit there and play with this. I can push it now. Everything works. And I think it's an overall beautiful piece, and it fits very well into my Kaiju theme collection, as I like to collect all things Kaiju. So, if you guys too like my Cthulhu figure, I basically went over everything on how to build them, use acrylic paints to touch them up. I can't make you guys one. I don't think they make these kits anymore for Cthulhu. I can't find one anymore. So this is the only one. But I hope you guys like my custom Cthulhu figure. And if you did, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely comment what you think about my Cthulhu figure. And look out for all those new Kaiju out there.